Space Emperor Goddo Shiguma is a 50-episode anime produced by Toei Television Division that was broadcast on Tokyo 12 Channel every Wednesday from 1930 to 2000 hours, JST, from March 19, 1980 to February 25, 1981. Overview. The working title during planning was Space Emperor Battlers Shiguma. As with the previous show, Future Robot Daltonius, Toei's television division was in charge of planning this work, and animation production was outsourced to an external animation production company. As the partnership with Nippon Sunrise, which had been in place since Super Electromagnetic Robot Combattler V, 1976, ended with the previous show, Academy Production, actual production was by Green Box, was in charge of animation production instead. In addition, advertising agency Toei Agency and sponsor Poppy, now Bandai Boys Toy Division, are also continuing to participate from the previous show. This work was the last one to be produced by producer Kei Ijima, who has supported the anime line planned by Toei's TV division since the aforementioned Combattler V. With the addition of Ijima's series composition, which he has a proven track record since his time at Toei Animation, and the sense of Chief Director Katsuhiko Taguchi, an unprecedented development unfolded just before the fourth season. The enemy is an alien from the future, and this fact is concealed in the early part of the story, but the truth gradually becomes clear from the middle onwards. From the second half onwards, this becomes the axis around which the story unfolds. Regarding production, Takeyuki Kanda was the chief director up until episode 10, but due to his busy schedule, he was replaced by Katsuhiko Taguchi. Taguchi continued to draw storyboards himself, splitting them among about 3 people and revising them to match the character charts, and even took the layouts to Korea and Taiwan to check the original drawings. Also, when Taguchi visited Taiwan, when the 10 or so original animators got tired of drawing, they decided who would be drawn by lottery using chopsticks. In addition, there was an accident just after the show started where the cells for one episode were burned, and they had to change the contents of the scenario and fill in the gaps with original drawings as a stopgap measure. Story. In the year 2050, while the human race on Earth was engaged in space development, they were suddenly attacked by the mysterious Eldar army, which appeared 250 years into the future. In the year 2300, the planet Eldar was invaded by the human race on Earth and was at a great disadvantage against Earth's weapons that used Trinity energy. The Eldar people had only one goal: to steal Trinity energy, a new energy source with the power dozens of times that of a hydrogen bomb, and change history. The Elders have occupied Jupiter's moon Io, where the Earthlings had colonized. In order to steal the Trinity energy of the Earth, they have begun an attack on Trinity City with the Cosmosaurus. Toshiya and his friends use Goddo Shiguma to protect the Earth and the Trinity energy, and engage in a long battle to recapture Io. Characters. Trinity City. Dan Toshiya, voice, Kato-yama/Tomokazu Seki, Super Robot Wars series, the protagonist of this work. A second-generation settler from Jupiter's moon Io, born and raised on Io. 18 years old. A hot-blooded man with a burning passion for justice. He possesses exceptional athletic ability and quick decision-making skills. When he visited Trinity City, he was caught up in an attack by the Elders, and with his inherent sense of justice, he piloted the Sky Thunder King and defeated the enemy. His experience piloting construction robots on Io made him exceptionally well-suited to be a robot pilot, and he was later officially appointed as Goddo Shiguma's main pilot. At first, he fought the Elders who had taken control of Io with strong anger and hatred, but after meeting Terrell, he learned of the sins of Earth's humanity in the future world and began to wish for peace in the universe. After the battle, he boarded Goddo Shiguma alone and traveled to the future using the timeship left behind by Terrell to stop the conflict between Earth and the Elders. Julie Noguchi, voice Yoshito Yasuhara. Trinity City's chief engineer and assistant to Dr. Kazumi. 20 years old. A skilled pilot, He piloted the Kaimeo during the attack on the Elders, and has served as its pilot ever since. He has a cocky side, and as a person he is somewhat cold-hearted and lacks consideration for others. Because of this, he is often misunderstood by those around him, which often leads to conflicts with the compassionate Toshiya and Kiraken. He also has a strong desire for money, and when Minako was kidnapped, he agreed to Mr. Martino's request to rescue her on the condition that he raise his own salary. He also left his family behind on Io, but he kept this a secret from Toshiya and the others. When he was young, his family was torn apart because his father was so absorbed in his research into immortality that he didn't care about anyone else, and he went to Earth alone to look for Dr. Kazumi, and he saved money like a miser so that he could live with his family on Earth. In the play, he also showed contempt for his father, who was in poverty and begged for money. Julie also harbored anger and hatred towards the Elders in her heart, but she changed her mind after being persuaded by her sister Jane, who had escaped to Earth with her after being saved by Terrell. Kensuke Kira Research, Voice, Tesho Janda. Nicknamed Kiraken, he is a pioneer of Io and Toshiya's best friend. He witnessed his family being killed in an attack by the Elders. However, as the story progresses, he begins to think that maybe his family is still alive. Kensuke barely escapes Io and reaches Trinity City, and with Toshiya's recommendation, he becomes the pilot of Rikushina. At first, he was not good at piloting robots, but he later overcame this. However, due to his lack of experience in piloting robots, his ability to operate the machines is not as good as the other two. Dr. Kazumi, Professor Kazumi, voiced by Kosei Tomita, the developer of Trinity Energy and God Sigma. At first, he had a sense of mission to protect the Earth, and acted by putting his body on the line to protect Trinity City. However, after Toshiya and Terrell, Lila, reconcile after learning of the threat of the destruction of the Elder Planet by the human race in the future, he ordered his staff to forcibly take Terrell away, expose the bodies of Elder soldiers, and torture them, demanding that they hand over the time machine technology. He showed interest in the time machine technology possessed by the Elder Army, and forcibly interrogated the captured Elder soldiers with a memory projection machine. He hid the bodies of prisoners who died from the machine in his laboratory, but failed due to Toshiya's interference. After that incident, he began to shed his mask of a peace-loving scientist, and eventually tried to escape from Trinity City to protect the data of the Trinity Energy. Then, at the end of the story, he switched sides to the Elders because of his desire for unknown technology. His actions had already reached the level of a mad scientist. It is unclear whether he had always had a distorted way of thinking, or whether the death of his son caused him to become mentally ill and his desire for science to go out of control. On Gugun's orders, he attempted to steal the Trinity Energy as a gift, but was ultimately killed by a stray bullet from an Elder soldier. In episode 10, it was revealed that he had a son named Yasuji, but he was too absorbed in his work to pay him any attention. When the Elder soldiers tried to kill him, the son tried to fight back with a ray gun, but was killed when the ray gun accidentally went off. Rikazuga, voiced by Kyomiko Takaizawa. Secretary to Dr. Kazumi. With a firm personality, she is a career woman who handles both her work and battle command. She has feelings for Toshiya, and occasionally gets into arguments with Minako over the matter. She has piloted the Kurayo twice. The first time, she piloted it together with Minako, and the second time, she piloted it alone with Shota and Sachi on board. After the departure for Jupiter, she took full command of the base in place of Dr. Kazumi. He respected his superior, Dr. Kazumi, and looked up to him like a father. Perhaps because of this, he was unable to hide his shock when Dr. Kazumi betrayed him at the end of the story, and cried bitterly at his own death, which could be said to be his own doing. Shota Kazuga, voiced by Noriko Obara. Ri's younger brother. His parents died when he was young, and he lived with his sister after that. He was taken in by a shelter when Ri got a job at a research facility in Trinity City. He is an incredibly mischievous boy, and has played some pretty naughty pranks on teachers at the facility, such as shooting pinballs at them and trying to hook a car with a wire. He continued to play pranks even after moving to Trinity City, but this was the flip side of his desire to be useful to everyone. He likes Kensaku, and they often hang out together. He becomes good friends with Sachi, whom he met by chance during an incident. Martino. Voice, Kenichi Ogata. A sponsor of Trinity City. A so-called miser. Because he prioritizes business, he is known for his irrational behavior, such as trying to sell 3 robots during the Elder invasion and refusing to sell Ionium to the base. However, he is weak to his daughter Minako's arguments, and when she asked him to sell the robots, he cancelled it. Minako Martino. Voiced by Ryuhoko Yoshida. Martino's only daughter. She is quite active and often does crazy things. Kiraken even said that she was worse than me. She also has a selfish side, begging her father Martino for things. She fell in love with Toshiya at first sight when they first met, and from then on, she attacks Toshiya by forcing her way into his base and calling him almost every day. She is in a relationship with Ri as a love rival. At the end of the story, she has grown to the point where she fights alongside Toshiya and the others for peace in the universe. Sachi. Voiced by Reiko Katsura. A girl from Io who speaks in Kansai dialect. She desperately escaped from Io during the Elder's attack and sent out a distress signal in the North Pole, waiting for rescue. By chance, the distress signal was picked up by a communication device made by Shota, and he rescued her along with Kensaku, who went to the rescue with her. When she lived on Io, she was hated by her family and felt lonely. She compared her situation to that of the protagonist in Jules Renard's novel Ninjin. After being rescued, she was taken in by relatives, but she ended up in the same situation there as she had on Io, so Sachi escaped and ended up living in Trinity City. She looked up to Kensaku, who had saved her, like an older brother, and her relationship with Shota developed as they talked. Eldar Army. An army sent from the Eldar Empire 200 years in the future to the past by time ship. Their fighting force is only a single space fortress ship. There were 2 when they arrived at Gugun, but the Hydrique was destroyed shortly after, so it was effectively a single ship, and its crew, so the personnel size is small. In the original era, the Eldar were invaded by Earth, which uses Trinity energy, and the planet's sphere of influence was destroyed by Trinity missiles, leaving the Eldar at a considerable disadvantage. The political system is an empire with the Senate. Commander Terrell. Voiced by Noriko Obara/Hiromi Tsuru, Super Robot Wars series. He is the commander-in-chief of the Elders, dispatched to Earth in the past with orders from the Senate to seize the Trinity energy. However, he has a hard time being ruthless, and hesitates when he witnesses Ri risking her life to save Toshiya. He came to this era as commander-in-chief to attack Trinity City and seize the energy, but he is actually a good-hearted person who hates conflict and wishes for peace in the universe. In fact, the real Terrell had already died in a battle with Earth in the original era, and his lover, Lila, transplanted her consciousness into a biological android modeled after Terrell. This is also why he has a female voice. However, he forgot about this fact until the middle of the story. After Gugun came to this era and destroyed his frontline base, he was gradually pushed out of his position, and eventually even lost his position as commander-in-chief. After his downfall, he escaped the base with the help of Gila and fled to Earth. After learning the truth, he cooperates with Toshiya and the others to fight Gugun, but in the final battle, he is cornered by Gugun, who knows his true identity. Commander Reitz. Voice, Shozo Izuka. Terrell's second-in-command. A large man with a military temperament. He commands the Cosmosaurus. He does not get along well with Gila due to his preference for brute force tactics, and they were at odds with each other in the early days. During the rebellion, he killed Gugun's pet Rodbird and confronted Gugun, but was shot down by Mesa's gunfire. Zira. Voiced by Ryuhoko Yoshida. Terrell's second-in-command. A female scientist. In addition to developing the Cosmosaurus, she also sometimes takes command herself. She is in a rival relationship with Reitz, and often gets in the way of the other. When Gugun took the position of Commander-in-Chief, she switched sides, but it was all a stunt to protect Terrell. She puts Terrell into a state of suspended animation and escapes from the Elder base, but is shot by pursuers and dies while apologizing to Terrell for faking her switch sides. In fact, she had romantic feelings for Terrell. Gugun. Voice, Mikio Terashima/KG Fujiwara, Super Robot Wars series, a hawkish soldier from the planet Eldar. He holds the rank of Major General. In the middle of the war, he is sent as reinforcements from his home country, fed up with the fact that the situation is not improving. From the start, he has looked down on Terrell, who is supposed to be his superior officer, such as when he suddenly destroys Terrell's flagship Hydreigon and then lies that it was in self-defense. In the end, he overthrows Terrell and seizes all real power in the military. He has a cold-hearted personality, and mercilessly cuts down those who are useless or oppose him. He is a cold-hearted man who shoots a soldier who makes a mistake and feeds him to his pet rotbird. In fact, he knows Terrell's true identity, and uses this to get hold of Terrell's weakness in the final battle. At the end of the game, he drives the giant robot Gargos to the final battle and corners God Sigma, but Gargos is destroyed in a desperate counter-attack. He is eventually cornered by Toshiya and shot dead by him. Dalton. Voice, Yara Yusaku, also serves as narrator in the latter half, Gugun's adjutant and combat commander. He thought of Mesa as a comrade who fought alongside him, but their relationship deteriorated to the point that they almost fell out towards the end. He swore loyalty to Gugun and fought under him until the end. Mesa. Voiced by Shunji Yamada. The head of science and technology under Gugun. He developed a special plating coating that powers up the Cosmosaurus. He believes betrayal is his aesthetic, and even when he is on Terrell's side, he pretends to be on his side and then sets up a trap for him. Mecha. Single robot and support mecha. The three medium-sized robots that make up God Sigma are designated as the three that control the sky, sea, and land. They were created for planetary development, but were forced to be repurposed for combat after being attacked by the Eldar aliens. Nevertheless, they achieved considerable success in their first battle, shooting down an Eldar fighter plane. Each robot is equipped with a computer that judges the skill and aptitude of the pilot. The suitability of the Kuryo, who is in charge of God Sigma's main cockpit, is particularly strict, and if a person has not mastered advanced piloting techniques, they are deemed unfit and cannot even pilot it. However, it seems possible for someone else to operate it in their place if a qualified person is sitting in the seat. They are usually called Robot No. 1, Robot No. 2, and Robot No. 3, respectively. Sky Thunder King, Kuryo, Robot Number 1. Piloted by Dan Toshiya. A red and black aerial robot. Stands above God Sigma's knees. Its abilities are mainly demonstrated in aerial combat. It has the most offensive power of the three and has the widest variety of weapons. It was initially thought that it would not be able to function underwater, but this was later improved. In the toy, the arm, fist, parts that are used when combined are stored on the back of the ankle. In the anime, there is a scene where the fist is shot out of Kuryo's ankle and attached to his arm. Sky Thunder Sword. A sword exclusively used by the King of Thunder. There were few opportunities to use it. Rivet Gun. Rivet-like missiles fired from the fingertips. Sky Thunder Bow. A bow-like weapon attached to the left arm. Kurai Shot. A slingshot attached to the right arm that can fire special bullets. Kurai Cutter. A boomerang-like projectile that is fired from the slit in the abdomen. It can be fired repeatedly. Kuroi Shock. It fires beams from the shoulder rods equipped on both shoulders. God Sigma has also used it. King of the Sea, Kaimeo, Robo Number 2. Piloted by Julie Noguchi. A blue-based underwater robot. It is God Sigma's right leg from the knee down. It is resistant to water pressure and can operate in the deep sea. It is also a reconnaissance robot, so it has high reconnaissance capabilities. Ice Blizzard. A freezing ray emitted from the chest. Can be used even when combined. Kaimei Missile. Missiles fired from the knees. 2 can be fired from each side. Double Chain. A whip-like weapon that can be pulled out from the buckle on the waist. It has also been used by God Sigma. Water Gun. A weapon stored in the left and right legs. It is divided into a body and a barrel, which are assembled when used. Although it is called a water gun, it fires harpoon-shaped missiles. Net Catcher. A net-like capture equipment that radiates from both hands. Landquake King, Rikushino, Robo Number 3. Piloted by Kira Kensaku. A yellow-colored ground robot. Forms God Sigma's left leg from the knee down. Skilled in hand-to-hand combat and power attacks. Can also burrow underground by using drills that emerge from the soles of its feet. Possibly because it was originally designed for work, it mainly uses work tools such as hammers and drills as weapons. In the toy version, instead of the Reichen hammer, it comes with the Riku Shinken, an original weapon for the toy, as its special weapon. Reichen Missile. Like a Mineo, the missiles are fired from the knee and have drill tips. Rikushn Hammer. A hammer stored in the abdomen. Depending on the situation, 2 hammers may be used. Red Beam. A ray of heat radiates from his chest. Attack Drill. A weapon stored in the leg. It attacks enemies by rotating the drill at the tip. God Sigma used it once. Big Wing. An unmanned aerial vehicle. When it combines with God Sigma, it is filled with Trinity energy and takes off from Trinity City. It combines to store the upper half of God Sigma, the Kuryo, and becomes the chest and back. After combining, it also functions as a weapon bay for the God Shield and Muzukin. It also emits Trinity energy to melt the ice on Mars, rescuing Trinity City from its predicament of being buried under ice. This aircraft did not exist in Katsuji Murakami's original design drawings, but was later added for the purpose of adjusting the proportions. Space Emperor God Sigma. A giant robot is created by combining the 3 robots, Kuryo, Kaimayo, and Rikushina, with Big Wing. The first combination is in Episode 3. At Toshiya's signal of Sigma formation, they form a triangular formation, and at the shout of Trinity Charge, the 3 of them summon the Big Wings charged with Trinity energy and combine. There are 2 patterns for the combined bank scene, early, up to Episode 16, and mid-stage, from Episode 17 onwards. The height was originally set at 265 m, but due to issues with the depiction in the show, it was reset to 65 m after broadcast. It weighs 1,200 t. Its power source is Trinity energy. It has the navigation capability to travel from Earth to Jupiter and back. It can be piloted by the main pilot Toshiya alone, but the generators of the other 2 units cannot be controlled, so the output drops. In the final episode, it is killed in a draw with Galgos, but after the battle it is repaired and modified into a single-seater and travels into the future with Toshiya. Weapon. Peerless Sword, Muzukin, a large sword stored in the wing. After combining, one of the wings in a V-shape is lowered and transformed into a diagonally straight sheath, after which the handle is taken out from the upper wingtip and pulled out. It can be drawn from either the left or right. There is also a version in which it is drawn from the lower wingtip. It is often mistaken because it is drawn in an instant, but the sword is not drawn in a straight line from the wing, scabbard, but rather can be seen being drawn by sliding the blade diagonally from the side of the wing. His main special moves are Muzukin, Kabutori, Muzukin, Karatekwari, Muzukin, Jumanjiri, Muzukin, Hamanjiri, etc. Sigma Missile. Missiles fired from the circular parts on both shoulders. Only used in Episode 6. God Shield. A shield that can be attached to the arm by removing the plate on the back of the big wing. When removed from the big wing, it becomes 1 size larger. God String. It is a capture weapon that generates a beam in a triangular shape connecting the 3 points, the circular part on the chest, beam indicator, and both fists, and then manipulates the beam into a string and throws it at the enemy to entangle them. Finger Needle. God Sigma fires needle-shaped bullets from the tips of his 10 fingers. It can be used with just one hand. The range is 10,000 meters. God Tomahawk. A pair of single-edged axes stored at the base of both wings of the big wing. Weight 36 tons. Used by throwing like a boomerang. Spin Saucer. A disc-shaped throwing weapon stored at the base of both wings of the big wing. It can be thrown from a slit on the side of the wing, but in episode 21 it is taken out from God Sigma's forearm. In episode 15 it is called the God Saucer. Sigma Breast. This weapon is an application of technology that had been in development for some time as a countermeasure against the Cosmosaurus, which is coated with a special plating. It irradiates the enemy with special radiation to peel off the plated armor, weakening its durability, and then finishes it off with the Muzukin. It was equipped on both wings of the big wing that was damaged in the previous battle. Big Wing Attack. A powerful technique in which the big wing is detached and the enemy is rammed into the enemy. It is used as a last resort against enemies that are ineffective against the Muzukin. However, because the big wing is charged with Trinity energy, God Sigma's combat ability and defensive power are reduced. For this reason, the Big Wing Attack has only been used against the cigar-shaped giant combat mecha, episode 25, and the giant robot Gargos, episodes 49 and 50. In Super Robot Wars Z, it is called the Trinity Wing. In the main story, when it is used in episode 25, it is called Trinity Wing Attack. In addition to this, as mentioned above, individual robot weapons are used depending on the battle situation. Trinity Energy. A super energy discovered and developed by Dr. Kazumi. Trinity energy is different from the energy of nuclear or chemical reactions, and is an energy generated by the distortion of dimensions. Trinity energy can be extracted by distorting space using a special super heavy metal called ionium that can only be mined on Io, Jupiter. In the future, 250 years later, the Earth military possesses weapons that utilize Trinity energy, posing a threat to space forces, including the Eldar military. The Eldar have also tried to discover a comparable energy, but have failed. Although their experiment failed, it did produce a byproduct, a time warp system, time ship, which was an accidental result. The amount of Trinity energy that can be extracted is determined by the amount of ionium, so there is a limit to how much can be stored. Also, Trinity energy is consumed each time God Sigma combines with it, so it is necessary to generate and store energy at any time. Dr. Kazumi was worried that Trinity energy could be misused, so he kept the manufacturing method and other details top secret. He did not even tell his assistant Julie the details, which caused them to struggle towards the end of the game when Dr. Kazumi betrayed them. Julie later unlocked the password and discovered the manufacturing method for Trinity energy. Trinity City. An artificial island built by Dr. Kazumi with investment from Martino for the development of Trinity energy. Perhaps to protect the secrets of Trinity energy, it has a fairly strong self-defense capability since before the Elder aliens' attack. It was originally docked at the port, but after it was heavily damaged by an attack by the Elders, it was moved and repaired and remodeled at the docks of Megalo City. However, as a result of this, a neighboring city was attacked, so after the repairs, it was moved to an isolated island in the sea. At that time, the function of a huge space base was added. After joining up with Terrell, they flew their huge bodies into space, heading for the enemy's base, Io. However, because Toshiya and his team acted on their own initiative, they incurred the wrath of Dr. Kazumi. Eldar Empire. Metal Beast Cosmosaurus. A metallic life form developed by the Elders to launch an attack on Trinity City. It absorbs energy and raw materials from Jupiter's Great Red Spot, and is completed by absorbing offensive weapons and heavy metals into the space creatures that are generated at the Elder base on Io. Every time, he is killed by the Muzukin, but in the second half of the battle, Mesa's special plating is applied to his surface, powering him up. This plating process is able to repel the Muzukin, which was thought to be invincible, and shatter it instead. However, the special plating is peeled off by the Sigma breast that Professor Kazumi added to God Sigma ships and fighter planes. In addition to the Cosmosaurus, the Eldar's military forces also possess numerous other mecha, including attack mecha, which are purely combat machines, space battleships, and space fighters such as the Harpy 3. However, these are being overrun by the Earth fleet, which uses Trinity energy in the future world. In addition, the giant robot Gargos is hidden at the top of the command tower of Terra's forward base, the Space Fortress ship Hydrate, which is also a time ship, and the Space Fortress brought by Gugun, which becomes the Eldar army's new forward base after Hydrate is destroyed, and it puts God Sigma in a difficult position during the final battle. Staff. 1. Original story, Saburo Yatsuda, serialized in TV Land and TV Con. 2. Producers, Hitagatsu, Tokyo 12 Channel, Takashi Iijima, Itaru Orita, Toei Television Business Division. 3. Music, Hiroshi Tsutsui. 4. Performance, Tokyo Chamber Music Association. 5. Chief Director, Takeyuki Kanda, Episodes 1 to 10, Katsuhiko Taguchi, Episodes 11 to 50. 6. Character Design, Kazuhiko Utagawa. 7. Character Design, Kaoru Shintani. 8. Design Cooperation, Yutaka Izubuchi. 9. Mechanical Design, Katsuji Murakami, Submarine. 10. Art Director, Kazuo Okada, Tadama Shimokawa. 11. Sound Director, Tsunihira Kawamura. 12. Casting Cooperation, Production Baobab. 13. Animation Production, Green Box, Anime City, Sunluke. 14. Production Cooperation, Academy Productions Rightward Arrow Tokyo Dauga. 15. Production, Tokyo 12 Channel, Toei Agency. Theme Song. Opening Theme, Gonbear. Space Warrior sung by Isao Sasaki, Koragi 73, Columbia Urakagakai. Ending Theme, Red, Blue, Yellow, sung by Kaori Kumiko, Koragi 73, Columbia Urakagakai. Both songs are written by Saburo Yatsuda, composed by Asai Kobayashi, arranged by Masahisa Takeichi, and released by Nippon Columbia. The lyrics of the ending theme song, Red Blue Yellow, include a description of the arrangement of the planets in the solar system, but this arrangement follows the general order of the semi-major axis, average distance, of the orbits, and does not follow the absolute positions of the planets at the time of broadcast. Following the discovery of Jupiter's rings the year before the series aired, the series also features rings around Jupiter in the ending credits. However, unlike the real Jupiter rings, which remained undiscovered for a long time because they were too thin to be seen, the shadow of the rings falls on Jupiter itself. List of episodes. Number of episodes, broadcast date, subtitle, screenplay, Conti, direction, animation director, appearing, broadcasting station. The broadcast dates and times are from mid-June to early July 1980, except for Okayama Broadcasting, Shigoku Broadcasting, and Miyazaki Television, where the source is individually stated. 1. Tokyo 12 Channel, production station, Wednesday 1930, 2000 hours. 2. Hokkaido Cultural Broadcasting, Friday 1700 hours, 1730, April 25, 1980 to September 26, 1980, rightward arrow, Sunday 10:30, 11 o'clock, October 5, 1980 to April 12, 1981, 3. Iwa Television, Saturday 1710, 1740. 4. Akita Television, Tuesday 1700 hours, 1730. 5. Tohoku Broadcasting, Friday 1730, 1800 hours. 6. Fukushima Chuo Television, Mondays 1700 hours to 1730. 7. Niigata Broadcasting, Wednesday 1730, 1800 hours, broadcast from April 9, 1980, 8. Shinatsu Broadcasting, Saturday 1630, 1700 hours. 9 Yamanashi Television, Friday 1720 to 1750, broadcast from March 28, 1980, 10. Toyama Television, Thursdays 1650 to 1720, broadcast from May 8, 1980, 11. Hokuriku Broadcasting, Monday 1700 hours, 1730. 12 Shizuoka Broadcasting System, Thursday 1730, 1800 hours. 13 Chubyu Nippon Broadcasting, Thursday 1725, 1755. 14 Sun TV, Wednesdays 1830 to 1900 hours, broadcast from April 2, 1980, 15. KBS Kyoto, Wednesday 1830, 1900 hours, broadcast from April 2, 1980, 16. Wakayama Television, Wednesdays 1830 to 1900 hours, broadcast from March 26, 1980, 17. Okayama Broadcasting, Friday 1630, 1700 hours. 18 Shigoku Broadcasting, Tuesday 1730, 1800 hours. 19 TV Kochi, Tuesday 1700 hours to 1730, broadcast since April 22, 1980, 20. Television Nishi Nippon, Saturday 1800 hours, 1830. 21 Nagasaki Television, Thursdays 1830 to 1900 hours, broadcast from April 3, 1980, 22. Kumamoto Broadcasting, Wednesdays 1730 to 1800 hours, broadcast since April 23, 1980, 23. Oita Broadcasting, Thursday 1720, 1750. 24 Miyazaki Television, Tuesday 1730, 1800 hours. 25 Minami Nippon Broadcasting, Monday 1725, 1755. 26 Okinawa Television, Friday 1730, 1800 hours, broadcast from March 28, 1980. Video software, rebroadcast on CS stations. On March 16, 2011, the first video software release, the DVD box set, Space Emperor God Sigma Complete DVD, was released by Pony Canyon, limited edition. It has been rebroadcast multiple times on the Toei channel on satellite broadcasting. The first broadcast from February to July 2003 was in the Super Robot Retsuden time slot, the second, April to October 2016, and third, February to August 2018, were in the Waku Waku Anime time slot. Toy 1 in 1980, while the series was still airing, Poppy, now Bandai, released the DX Kogakin Space Combination God Sigma. The set included 3 robots, Kuryo, Kaimayo, and Rikushina, along with the Big Wing, which could combine to form God Sigma. It came with weapons for God Sigma, such as the Muzukin and God Shield, as well as weapons for individual robots, such as the Kuraibao, and the God Shield could be attached to the Big Wing, just like in the video. The catchphrase was, "Poppy's Kogakin has done it again." After the broadcast, Bandai released the following 2 types using the latest 21st century modeling and manufacturing techniques. 1 July 30, 2011, GX60 God Sigma is released as part of the Soul of Kogakin series. 1 The set includes the 3 core robots, the Big Wing, weapons for God Sigma, and weapons for individual robots. In addition, the Big Wing can be opened at both ends to recreate the Sigma breast firing stance, an equipment not available in the Space Fusion. 2 The renewed version, GX60R God Sigma, was released in September 2018. It has been improved in many areas, including a perfect reproduction of the unsheathing of the Musa sword, which was not possible in the first version, a completely new God Sigma, Kuryo, head, and a full list of weapons. 2 April 24, 2015, God Sigma is released as part of the Super Robot Kogakin series. 1 The Super Robot Kogakin version pursues the beauty of its design as a single unit, in exchange for the loss of the combining and transforming functions. Also, The movement of each part is more flexible than the Soul of Kogakuin version, and its selling point is that it can reproduce many of the poses shown in the movie. For example, it can reproduce the stance of unsheathing the Muzukin sword from its back without a fixing jig. Appearances in games. Shuffle Fight. Released on October 9, 1992. A game exclusively for the family computer. God Sigma appears in this game. Super Robot Wars Z released on September 25, 2008. A PlayStation 2 exclusive game. At the time of production of this work, Toyama Kei, who played Dan Toshiya, had already passed away, so as mentioned above, Seiki Tomokazu took over the role. In this work, a robot named God Sigma Gravion, from one of the participating works, Super Heavy God Gravion, also appears, and a crossover related to it is also prepared. Super Robot Wars Z2. The first part, Hakai-Han, was released on April 14, 2011, and the second part, Saisai-Han, was released on April 5, 2012. The game is available exclusively for the PlayStation Portable. A sequel to Z. Continuing from the previous work. Super Robot Wars X Omega app game for iOS/Android. From October 2016, it will be added as a participating work in the second period.